The ineluctable and certain proof God must exist. The issue isn't just about evidence for the Bible and God. The certain proof for the Bible is that without God, one cannot account for evidence because God is the precondition for the laws of logic and the intelligibility of human experience. Logic that must be utilized in marshaling and pondering the evidence. Non-theistic systems of thought fail to supply the necessary prior conditions for logic. Only Christianity supplies the necessary preconditions for the transcendent, absolute, unchanging, universal, immaterial laws of logic. Humanity and the physical world are in a constant state of flux, a changing, material-only conglomeration of the sum of human intelligence cannot provide the needed a priori conditions for the laws of logic. The laws of thought require a transcendent and unchanging God. This is inescapable and absolute. This argument grows in power when one attacks it. The argument advances in the force because the rival must use logic to make an intellectual challenge. Logic requires God. Logic has no physical content. The abstract application of reason has no material content. Logic is essential and a precondition for any intelligent communication, but it was not invented by philosophers. Logic is the foundational instrument necessary for all discourse, debate, and science. Without using logic, one cannot even deny that logic is mandatory for communication. The precondition for the laws of logic is God. Without the transcendent, non-physical, and universal God, one cannot justify transcendent, non-physical, universal, and abstract logic. Every time a person asserts anything, he is increasing the force of the transcendental argument. Suppose a giant, fictional snow monster went on a stomping rampage across the land. It's 100 feet tall and weighs several thousand tons. This bundle of villainous ice grows larger and stronger every time someone throws a snowball at it. One cannot kill it with a mere snow. The monster grows in strength and size and is ready to destroy a whole city. If the military orders the army to hit it with a large gun that lobs massive snowballs, not only would the Arctic monster survive, it would grow mightier and more enormous. The behemoth would absorb the massive snow shots and it would not get weaker, but it would grow in size and strength. Similarly, when those who attempt to lob intellectual weapons at the argument for God's existence, the truth grows stronger and larger. It's like tossing snowballs at gargantuan snow monsters. There is nothing a skeptic can assert without ultimately relying on theism, since the one true and living God alone furnishes the preconditions for logic. God is the pre-existing foundation for all debate. Deny the triune God and one cannot account for the debate of anything. The argument for the biblical God swallows up any argument against it. Those who contend against the God of the Bible are just throwing thimbles full of water into the vast and deep ocean of God's truth, inasmuch as they are utilizing logic in their rational dispute against the Lord. So every time an unbeliever attempts to disprove the Lord God, they are just tossing dirt clods at a mountain. One must employ the laws of logic to argue against Christianity, and all argument requires the one true God. Thus, the denial of God presupposes God and only adds to that actuality.